Hello, everybody. Just going to give everyone a minute to pop on while I get started here. Hello. Hi, Tanya. Okay, so I can barely read the screen. My eyesight is like so bad, but now as everybody's coming on, thank you guys all for being here. There's a few things I want to say before I get into some readings. And don't worry, I will still absolutely do an hour's worth of readings, even though I'm probably going to do 10 minutes of talking first. First things first, I really want to say to everybody, thank you so much for the support that you gave me this last week. Sorry if this camera's wiggling on you. I'll try to move it here. I just want to talk a little bit about this because I think that for me, it's been an extremely spiritual message, especially doing what I do for a living. I'm very well aware that everything happens for a reason. There's no such thing as coincidence. All yada yada yada. That's what it feels like when you're going through a crisis. It's like yada yada yada. But the truth is, it's actually very disheartening when you spend so much time and effort working towards a goal, and then you finally achieve this goal and it blows up in your face, and you are left sitting here going, why? Like, I did everything I was supposed to do. I've prayed, I've asked for help if I've needed it. Like, what exactly is going on here? And I could have done one of two things. I could have, sat my butt in the corner and cried and just gone, oh, God hates me. Nothing ever goes right for me. Trust me, I could have easily said that. I've had a life. Well, I like to say I've lived 10 lifetimes in one lifetime with the amount of things that I've been through in my earlier life. But, I just know better nowadays. And I didn't do that. People book readings with me all the time. It's not like I'm the busiest medium in the world. I'm just starting out in this. I just started telling people that I could do this. For many years, I kept this very secret. So it's not like I'm making millions of dollars here every month. And it's funny because one of my friends even said to me, do you think that you should shut down the live readings for a while because maybe then people would have to pay for the readings instead of getting them for free? And that thought, I have to be honest with you, horrified me. Having to shut down the free readings just to encourage people to have to pay for them? No. For me, that's horrifying because I don't do this. I got to be honest with you guys. I don't do this for the money. I mean, I'm trying to make a career out of this. Sorry. Absolutely, because this is what I'm passionate about and I love, love, love what I do. But this is not about the money for me. I don't, set my life up every single week on Tuesday to come on here to make money. I come on here because I lived the first 30 years of my life keeping this to myself. Walking around in supermarkets and malls and public places and feeling people's pain and the desperation of spirit to just get a simple message through, and not having the courage within myself to walk up to somebody and say, hey, guess what? I talk to dead people and this is what I'm feeling. This is who's around you. This is what they need to say. That takes balls. I didn't have those the first 30 years of my life, and I had some very critical loved ones who were very against me going and doing this kind of work, devil's work, as they put it. But for me, the first time that I actually passed through that message and it prevented a suicide is what it did. And it was like a light bulb moment went on in my head. God didn't give me this gift to hide or to be embarrassed of or to worry about, what the Bible says about mediums and whatnot. God gave me this gift. He made me this way for a reason. He intended me to help people with this. So for me, that's the number one goal here. That's my absolute number one goal. That's why no matter what, unless God strikes me down somehow, I will be here every Tuesday, every week to bring you these free live readings, because it's not about the money. It's about the message. It's about the people whose lives have been changed, who have found peace. All of the letters that I get from people telling me what a difference it's made in their life. That's why I do this. So it's not easy for me to sit up and write on my post on my Facebook page that, hey guys, I need some help. I need you to book your reading now, not next month or whenever. I need this help now. But that's what I did, and I was extremely humbled by each and every one of you who stepped forward to help book a reading. It actually makes me tear up a little bit because you guys are saving my butt. There's still a few more spaces to be filled before I completely have the moving truck paid off. But I have absolute faith in God that even though this was exactly where He led me to, it didn't work out the way that I thought it would, but that doesn't mean that He doesn't have a better plan, that there isn't still another plan, and that maybe, just maybe, I'm supposed to let all of you help me, just like I'm trying to help you. That can be a pride thing sometimes, I guess. That can be hard, but you know what? I'm truly humbled and I'm truly grateful for each and every one of you. Okay, so that little speech being done, and thank you for putting up with my dribble. One other thing I want to talk about before I start taking readings here is about a month ago or so, one of my very good friends who is a Reiki master helped me in a situation. I was going to a group to host, do a group reading. I got tears coming down. Sorry, guys. I was going to a group reading in a venue that did not allow me to burn sage. And sage is extremely important to me. Before every live reading, before every reading I do, I burn sage. I say my prayer, my blessing, and make sure that the environment is clean, so to speak. And so because I couldn't burn sage in this venue, my friend, the Reiki master, she made this incredible concoction. Let me just show you guys here. She's calling it the Aura and Room Spray. See this? But it's all natural oils. She was supposed to send me a list of everything that's in here. I don't exactly know. It's not really my forte. But what I can tell you is that it smells like a mixture of, how do I explain that? Tea and citrus, maybe. But it's got sage, it's got relaxing oils, it's got a little amethyst in the bottom. And it completely did the job that I needed it to do. I have to say it doesn't quite last as long as burning sage does. However, I have just found this so extremely handy to have with me. Keep it in my purse, whatever, if I'm in a situation, I'm stuck in a room with someone with real bad energy, a couple little squirts, and I can actually breathe and feel better. I wish I could tell you all the ingredients in here. That, like I said, that's not my forte. But what I can tell you with absolute certainty is that I feel this and it works. And so I told her to make me up a few bottles because I think that there is a lot of people out there that maybe don't like to have the smoke burning in their house, but still want the ability to be able to cleanse their house, their car, wherever they're going. And so she's made me up a bunch of these bottles. So this, I believe, is the 4-ounce bottle. And this is the 2-ounce bottle. And they're a sage or a room spray. Glass bottles that are extremely handy and can be refilled. So these are definitely going to be for sale. I'm going to take a picture and post them on my page. And if you guys would like them, then just let me know. I believe the The big bottle is going for $19.95 and the small one is $14.95 or something, but I will double check. And then what she's going to do is that if you mail her back the bottles, she will refill it for a lesser price. So, anyways, yeah. Okay, so with all that said, I think I am ready to jump in and start taking some readings here. So, give me just a minute to quiet my mind here. Okay, it's been a very interesting morning, I have to say. Spirit's jumping everywhere, so let me just jump right in. Hello?
Hi.
Hi. Were you calling for the free readings?
Yes.
Okay, you are my first caller today. What is your name?
Nadine.
Nadine? Okay, Nadine. Before we begin, I like to do a little grounding exercise. It just helps me focus on your energy. So,
Okay.
Can you do me a favor and sit somewhere where your feet are flat on the floor?
Okay.
And then I want you to take a deep breath, but I want you to picture that deep breath starting at your big toe, slowly pulling it all the way up through your body, and then blow it straight through the phone at me. Then just give me 1 minute to focus, okay? Okay. Interesting. Give me just a second to sort this out. There's 4 distinct people that step forward. I'm not sure if they're all wanting to talk here. I don't think so. Give me a second to sort through this.
Okay.
Stand apart. Okay, so the gentleman, which kind of feels like a father figure, but that could mean father, grandfather, uncle. I don't usually try to guess on those relationships, but he's kind of making it a point to let me know that there is this bond there. He snaps his fingers, which is my symbol for somebody who passed suddenly or unexpectedly. He takes me to the chest and takes a deep breath, which is my symbol for somebody who can breathe free and clear on that side. And I feel like the breathing issue here was just at the very end, the very, very end of his life. So sometimes they'll show me that for heart attack.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is that person to you?
He is the father of my daughter.
Okay. See, this is why I don't try to guess relationships. Because I can feel that he's like a father figure, but how? I wasn't exactly sure. Okay, so he's the first person to step forward. So let me just tune in again and see what he wants to say, okay? Okay, he just said a lot very quickly. So am I right in, okay, you said the stepdaughter to your daughter. So, but this is not your boyfriend?
No,
Or
this
husband?
is his daughter.
Pardon me?
This is his biological daughter.
Okay.
He passed on out.
Okay, how do I, okay, I'm just going to go to the symbols because I'm not understanding that. He shows me the thank you symbol right away, and he overemphasizes the thank you symbol. So when I see spirit overemphasize something, it's usually because they didn't say it enough here in the physical world, or and for whatever reason, they really need you to understand that he's extremely thankful. Hold on a second. He's talking about that you went over above and beyond when he passed to make sure that his daughter was included, or to, it's almost like you went above and beyond what was expected of you to make sure that she got her closure. Does that make sense?
Not Sure.
He specifically, when I ask him for clarification on this, he's showing me a car ride and then he's showing me distance. So, hold on a sec. So this is where I say that talking to spirit can be like charades sometimes, and these messages are personal for you, so I need your help to figure out what they mean. So he shows me my symbol for distance, and he shows me the car ride. So that usually either means that they were somewhat distant before he passed away, either emotionally or physically, or that you had to drive her some distance to go to his funeral, or to, he takes me to the end of it. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, I just travel.
Okay. So he's bringing that up, and he's showing me the thank you symbol over and over and over again. He needs you to know how much he appreciates that. And I almost feel like there's a feeling of regret in a sense that he never told you more how thankful he was. Does that make sense? It's almost like he never really spoke to you about those things, and that's a shame because you deserve a lot of credit. And he's very happy to be able to have this opportunity to just thank you for being the mother that you are to your daughter. To his daughter. I see. So, okay, slow this down. He just put on rose-colored glasses, which is my symbol for when spirit sees things differently on that side than they did when they were here in the physical world.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm getting some apologies from him. So you and him were together, is this correct? At some point, you and him were a couple.
Yeah.
Okay. Because he's putting on the rose-colored glasses, which, again, is my symbol that he's seeing things differently on the other side. And then I see him get down on one knee, and he's like, Tracy, she's not going to believe you when you tell her that I'm doing this, because I would never have done this in life. But he gets down on one knee, and he's thanking you for being the person that you were and holding him accountable. I'm not sure what that means, but he's like making me feel like you didn't let him get away with something, and he needed to be held accountable. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. I see. Okay, so he's kind of pulling his energy back, and there's one more person here that's stepping forward. Slow it down. Okay, so there's a lady that steps forward, but she's showing me some symbols she's showing me the feather, but the way that she's showing it to me is a way that often I see with Native people, that indicates the Native culture to me. Do you have Native, are you part Native or Native, sweetie?
Yes.
Okay, so she's acknowledging this as she's stepping forward, but she's also placing them all over the place. Have you found feathers recently?
I used to when I used to work at the store.
Okay, hold on. I'm not sure who she is yet. She's just acknowledging the feathers right away. She's showing me my symbol. She's doing the wiggle, which is my symbol for somebody who had limited mobility here in the physical world and that can move free and clear on the other side. She makes me feel like there was a good deal of her life towards the end where she was not able to move the way that she wanted to. It doesn't feel like wheelchair bound or anything, just like very limited mobility. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's okay, she's telling me more. Hold on a second. She shows me the body scan, which is my symbol for when there's more than one thing wrong in the body. But then I feel like I go to the hospital for one thing and I pass of something else completely different, and she snaps her fingers at me that it was sudden or unexpected.
My sister was in a car accident.
Okay. Well, we have to like validate the symbols because the first thing that she talked about was the lack of mobility at the end of her life. Did your sister live after the car accident for a little while?
No.
Okay, so this can't be her. This, honestly, and it's funny because as I'm saying this, I can see another spirit waving to me. Remember, I said there's 4 people specifically that stepped forward in the beginning. I can see that she's still one of the people that's over there. She's waving to me. But this lady feels more motherly. She feels like grandma or great auntie or auntie. It definitely doesn't really feel like mom. But whoever she is, she had a lack of mobility towards the end of her life. She had multiple.
Oh, maybe grandma.
Okay, she also had multiple issues going on in the body.
Yes.
And she went to the hospital for one thing and then passed very quickly from something totally different or something we didn't know was there. Does that make sense? Okay. So this is who steps forward to you and covers you in kisses head to toe, I have to say. She comes across very warm and nurturing. So hold on a second, because she's also overemphasizing this. So that's interesting to me. So that either means that she was not very warm and nurturing here in the physical world, which is why she's offering so much right now, or that's exactly who she was, and that's exactly what she would have done in the physical world. Because she's very much overemphasizing the kisses and the nurturing.
Yes, she was very nurturing.
She just put the blanket around your shoulders, hun, the white blanket, which is my symbol for when spirit is watching over somebody who has stress or health issues. In your case, it definitely feels like anxiety. There is like this huge amount of anxiety around you, which I recognize because I just went through a week of massive anxiety in my life. So, hold on a second. Slow down. She's talking about you having to make a decision right now, and it's one of the hardest decisions of your life. And I feel like you keep praying for God to give you the answer, or for your loved ones, or whoever this is on the other side to give you the answer. And so she's here today to let you know what the answer to that is, which is basically, this is the answer. You have to choose. You have to choose what you want to do, and then the universe, God, Spirit, the Creator, whoever you want to call that, will make sure that they help clear the path to make that a possibility for you. But you are the one that has to choose which way you want to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Spirit, the thing that you got to remember about Spirit is that they're very much like a GPS. When our loved ones die and they're on the other side, their way of being able to communicate with you, because they don't have a voice, they don't have, a body to be able to speak like you and I can. Their way of communicating with you is by, answering prayers in ways that they can, leaving symbols around, feathers, pennies, whatever the symbol might be, and helping to synchronize and make coincidences happen, so to speak, to help you in your goals. So when we pray, oftentimes we forget that their job is just to help us do what we need to do. They are not allowed to break the cardinal rule of free will. They are not allowed to say, well, I think you should do this. Do you know what I mean? It's like a GPS. If you get in your car and you say, okay, GPS, I want beer, they're going to go, your GPS is going to be like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. But if you give it an address and you say, this is where I want to go, then it tells you exactly how to get there. That's like how Spirit works. But you have to make that choice. So whatever this decision is that you're waiting to make, or that you're praying, what do I do? What do I do? What you do is you make the choice, and then God will help reveal the way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. They're pulling their energy back, hun. You are somebody I could probably read for 2 hours. Easy peasy, no problem. You have quite a few people on the other side. but Spirit always brings forward in a reading exactly the message that you need to hear. Maybe not everybody that you want to hear from, but exactly what you need to hear. So I hope that this was helpful for you today.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Take care. Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Hi? Hello?
Hello?
Are you still there?
Yep,
Okay. Are you calling for the free readings?
I am.
Awesome. What is your first name, hun?
It's Stephanie?
Sydney?
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Okay. Okay, Stephanie, I'm going to do a grounding exercise here for you.
Okay.
See, I can't even talk already. I can feel your loved ones in my ear. I still want you to do the grounding exercise. It just makes everything clearer. So if you could still sit, or if you could sit with your feet flat on the ground for me. And then if I can get you to take a deep breath, but picture that deep breath starting at your big toe and slowly pulling it all the way up through your body, and then blow it straight through the phone at me, and then just give me a minute to focus, okay? Okay. So I need to start with this lady because she's very excited to be here right now. She's got a lot of energy. I'm not sure who she is yet, but she's got a lot of energy and she's very excited to be here. So give me a second. There's some more people kind of pouring in behind that curtain. Okay, separate each other one at a time. So what the lady says, and again, one of the ways that I ask Spirit to validate who they are is by telling me how they passed away. And the first thing that she says to me is that she's not in any pain anymore. And she's like wiggling all over and like, woohoo, look at me, I don't hurt anywhere anymore. She's taking deep breaths so she can breathe free and clear on the other side. And she, at the same time, takes me to the head, which is my symbol for either stroke, aneurysm, Alzheimer's, dementia, or some type of communication issue. She's doing all of this very fast. So by the way, how fast she's putting all of this together, it makes me think that maybe this all happened like one thing after another. Or just happened really quickly, and then she snaps her fingers and says that, thank goodness I didn't linger as long as I could have, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
Not yet, no.
Okay, I'm going to ask her to validate more. I almost feel like she's insulted by that, like, hold on a second. Okay, so we're going to go back to the symbols that she's already brought up because it's very important that we stick to the symbols.
Okay.
So the first symbol she brought up was that she's not in any pain anymore and that she can move free and clear and do whatever she wants now. And then, so to clarify that statement, she also shows me my symbol for distance. So I would almost say that this is somebody that maybe lived a little bit of ways away from you before she passed, which is maybe why you didn't get to see all of that pain all of the time. I definitely feel like this is grandmother or it's a mother figure, but there's something about distance. She definitely lived either a distance away from you or you didn't see her for some time or whatnot before she passed, whatever that might be. Hold on.
Is she saying she's coming from a mother or father's side?
She's not telling me that, but if this makes sense for somebody on your mom or dad's side, that's what we need to identify. Again, she's taking me to the head, but I feel like this is at the very end. Maybe it's even like, I don't know, sometimes I see this with like cancer people where like in the last couple of days, they're out of it. They're not there at all. And then she makes me feel like she didn't linger in that state for too long, though, because she passed. She could have lingered in that state for weeks or months, but she didn't. It was a couple of days and then she passed.
Okay.
So does that make sense for somebody in your life?
So, could be a grandmother on my dad's side.
Okay. Hold on. As soon as you say that, she takes me back. I feel her pleasure at the fact that I feel like we're getting it now. But
Okay.
then she shows me that distance symbol again. So did you not get to
Yep.
see her very much, or?
No, she lived in Alberta.
Okay. And you don't.
No, we live in Ontario.
I see. So this is partly why she feels so excited to be coming forward today. It's almost like she gets to let you know that she's watching over you on that side and that she gets to spend more time with you now than she did when she was here in the physical world. So she's extremely grateful for that. But she very much is also bringing forward the gentleman, and I almost feel like she's here to let you know that, or to bring him forward. His passing feels a little bit more recent or a little bit more closer to you. Like
Okay.
there was more of a bond there. Hold on a second. Slow this down. Interesting. So he steps forward with white lighters all around him. So what white lighters are basically angelic beings that are just pure white light. And they typically surround somebody that either takes responsibility for their passing, committed suicide, or their passing was traumatic or quick and the family needed a lot of extra help when they passed away. Because
Okay.
the white lighter's job is to provide healing for the soul that has passed away and the souls that are left here. So this gentleman is stepping forward with the white lighters all around him.
Okay.
Do you know who that is off the top of your head?
Yep.
Okay, who is this to you?
He was a really good friend.
Okay, hold on a second. Slow that down. He's saying like 5 things at the same time, and then he laughs at me when I'm like, well, you gotta slow down, I'm not getting that. He's like, ask her, I was never the best at communication. Slow down. In fact, I think that's his point here, actually, because he's making me feel like he didn't communicate something to somebody before he passed away. Was this a suicide or like an accidental suicide, if that makes sense?
It was a car accident. Just one car involved.
Just him alone.
Yeah. Well, he had another passenger, but yeah.
Okay. Because the way he's talking about this is like he never communicated okay. So hold on a second. He's talking while I'm speaking. So it's kind of 2 messages here. One, he's making me feel like there was things that were revealed after he passed away that people didn't know about him. And I almost feel like he's embarrassed, not that people started knowing about this, but that he never told anyone. Like, did he used to play guitar or something with the music?
He was just really into music. Like he always had music.
Okay, because he's showing me that too. Like, he's making it a little bit hard to narrow down one symbol because he just goes on to the next symbol real quick. And I'm not quite sure what he's talking about when he keeps saying that there was things that were revealed after his passing that maybe people didn't know about, or maybe you didn't know about. And I feel like there's an apology there of sorts, like I should have told you. Slow this down. Slow this down. He definitely takes responsibility for the accident. it feels like a combination of like slick roads or something and maybe either nodding off or like I'm not sure what that personal error he's talking about there is, but he's definitely saying that this was half his fault, half not his fault.
Okay.
And that how hard this has been on his family. That's why the white lighters are here. He's like, these white lighters are not here because I had trouble crossing over. He's like, these white lighters are here is because my family had trouble dealing with the fact that I was on this side.
Yeah.
He's pulling his energy back. He just wanted to take this opportunity to let you know that he was okay on the other side.
Yep.
And he's also, as he's pulling his energy back, he's showing me a rose. So the rose is usually my symbol for anniversary or an event that comes around once a year. Once in a while it can indicate birthday, but it's like an event that comes around once a year, usually an anniversary. Is it coming up on the anniversary of his passing, or did the anniversary of his passing just pass?
No, that's in August.
Okay, so there's something right now that he's talking about this time of year that he's offering you the rose for. So in the sense that once a year. Slow this down. Oh, that was interesting. Okay, so this is where I tell people that 99% of the time my symbols all mean certain things, but then every once in a while somebody will throw in a symbol that is personal to them. Like sometimes, that 10th time, the flower just is because the guy's a florist. You know what I mean? In this situation, I feel like what he's representing, because then what he showed me was the heart, and he took me to February. And he looked at me and he said, Tracy, I was the one guy in her life that she could always depend on to remember. He's like, so that's why I'm giving her this. And that's why it feels like anniversary still, because it's a once a year kind of thing. But he wants you to know that he still remembered you on Valentine's Day. And he's showing me the thank you symbol because I feel like you remembered him. Like you said, hey, happy birthday. I hope you're okay over there. Or not happy birthday, but happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, and I guess you must have acknowledged his birthday as well because that's what came out of my mouth.
Yep, we do. We usually send balloons for his birthday.
So he wants you to know that he's aware of that, and extremely thankful that you guys are still. You know what he did? He just showed me birthday and death day. And oftentimes people start not celebrating, but memorializing the day that somebody died instead of the day that they were born. And I gotta tell you, if anything irritates spirit on the other side, that's usually it. Because they don't want you to mourn their death. They want you to celebrate the life that they lived. And I feel like that's why he's thanking you partly, is because you guys are celebrating his birthday. You're celebrating his life. And you're remembering who he was, not just carrying on the pain of his passing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
He reached down and kissed a little girl. Do you have a little girl?
I do, yes.
He's like kissing the children, and he wants you to know that he is forever looking over them on the other side.
Okay.
And as he's starting to pull his energy back, but as he does this, he's like, there you go, kid, I told you I'd get you through today. Ha! Almost like if you've tried before and you weren't able to get through and you said something beforehand, like, if you're really there, you're going to let me get through today. And I know a lot of people probably say that, and it's just not physically possible all the time, but he feels quite proud of himself that he was able to help you get through today. I hope that was helpful.
It was, thank you.
You're very welcome. You take care.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye. Hello?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. You're calling for the free readings?
I sure am.
Okay, what is your first name?
Shelby.
Shelby. Okay, so if I can get you to do a grounding exercise for me, hun?
Okay.
Hold on, I just have to like push your spirit. I need you to do the grounding exercise because this lady is so loud in my ear that I can't even, it's like I can't hear because she's so loud. So,
Okay.
interesting. Okay, so if I can get you to put both feet flat on the floor, take a deep breath, picturing that deep breath starting at your big toe, slowly pulling it all the way up through your body, blow it straight through the phone at me, and then give me 1 minute to focus.
Okay.
Okay, this is interesting. Hold on a second. Okay, so she kind of went really fast there for a minute. I feel like I'm getting my ass chewed out. I have to tell you that. So let me just kind of slow her down, calm her down, and try this again. See, she has zero interest in telling me how she passed away. She seems to want to get right to the message that she has to deliver. And when I ask her why, because I always try to get spirit to tell me how they passed away, validate who they are, she looks at me like she knows who I am. She's not stupid, and I've talked to you before. We've done this before, so I don't need to do this again, is how she explains it. So have you called before for a reading, Shelley?
Yeah, I've seen you a few times.
Okay, hold on. It's not my fault. I'm at a disadvantage. I just have a name on the phone. I'm getting my butt chewed out like I did something here, so hold on. Like I should know better. Okay, so she calms herself. I see. So Spirit doesn't do anything by accident. So all of this anxiety that she like pushed at me when she first sat down or when she first came forward, when she finally sat down and got calm, she's like there. You can tell her it runs in the family. That she comes by it honestly, it's in her genes. Even on the other side, I still get this anxiety and tend to like, bah! And then she's talking about how everything comes out wrong and that's not how I meant it to come out, but you get my point, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Slow this down. So first of all, in this much calmer energy, she's expressing a lot of love. So she wants you to know that what she's saying, who is this to you, by the way? Is this like a grandmother or a mother figure? Because there's definitely a mother figure feeling. And she says you know who she is. So
yeah, it's my grandma.
Okay. She expresses a lot of love, but the way she does it is almost like, you know how much I love you, right? So you're not going to take offense to this, right? Because you know that this comes from a place of love, right? So it's not my butt that's getting kicked today, it's yours. In a loving way. She shows me the money symbol, and then she shows me juggling. So there's definitely some issues in the financial department that I feel like is extremely stressing you out, which in turn stresses her out. And then what she says to me is because she goes, Tracy, it's needless. It's like we're stressing about things that we don't need to stress about. I don't know how to explain this. It's as if you have all the money that you need to meet your basic needs, but you don't have all the money that you need for all of the extravagances that you need or that you want in your life. And I feel like I'm trying to juggle the extravagance in with the needs, or justify is a better word, the extravagance in with the needs, and I'm getting myself in trouble because I'm having trouble identifying what is a want and what is a need. Does this make sense?
Well, yes, I guess I guess the only thing we really want is a house, but I guess yes.
That's not the kind of thing that I'm picking up. So as soon as you say that, I feel like she stiffens all up and she's like, "Oh, you want me to be specific? I can do that," she says. So she's showing me like paying bills and getting my nails done, paying bills and getting my hair done, paying bills or paying or like going on a trip or getting a new vehicle. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay. I'm having trouble budgeting that's what I mean by extravagance, things that aren't so much necessary and things that are absolute needs. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
And then she's talking about hearing and feeling the internal struggle that this is giving you because it's making you feel like a failure in a sense. It's almost like you lived for a lot of years having all of these extra things in your life that you just took them for a need instead of a want. And now that things have tightened up a little bit, it feels like you're having to come to grips and having to reevaluate the priorities in your life. That maybe some of these things aren't needs, that these are wants. Hold on a sec. Slow that down. She's like, and what you got to remember is that this is temporary. This is not because you're not going through this little, I call it a hiccup, because she's showing me that within like 3 months or so, 2-3 months, finances get very easy again. I don't know what that means. She shows me the gentleman beside you, so this must be a husband or a boyfriend, but she shows me that she puts a check mark over him, so I don't know if that means that he hasn't been pulling his weight lately or something, or maybe he lost his job and that he gets a new one in like within 2 to 3 months, whatever this is. Does that make sense to you?
Well, he's been looking for a new job, and like he works out of town, like he's got breakup coming up soon.
Well, there's more money coming into your path again within the next 3 months. And, okay, so can you help validate this point? It feels like within the last year or so, your finances have tightened up significantly from what they were for a good period of time before that. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, because he broke his leg, so he was off for 8 months, yes.
Okay, hallelujah. I'm not wrong here. Okay, hold on a sec. So there's a couple reasons why she's here. She's here to validate that you guys are going to be okay and finances are going to go back to the way that you're used to within a few months. But she's telling you in the meantime to stop calling yourself a failure and stop being so hard on yourself. And for goodness sake, go to the store and buy yourself a box of hair dye instead of wasting all that money on the hairdresser. But you can find other ways to be able to cope and get through because you have so much love and guidance on the other side. You have somebody, this man feels like he loves you. He definitely doesn't feel perfect, but I can feel that he loves you very much. And that I feel like the two of you together are quite the team when you put your heads together, and it's just a matter of time. But what you're doing to yourself right now, so this was no fault of his own, why he's out of work or why you guys are tightened up financially. Oh, no. But yet you're calling yourself all these names and you're saying all this like mean stuff to yourself in your head that what's wrong with me? Why can't I get it together? Why is this so hard? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like, stop that. I love you. That's my granddaughter you're talking about, and I'm very proud of her. She's very proud of the work. She's making me feel like you've had a steady job or something for the last year or two that I feel like you have invested a lot of responsibility in, and she's acknowledging how proud she is of you for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. Slow down, slow down. She's going into your wardrobe. This is a complete change of subject. She goes to your wardrobe and she starts pulling things out, and she's like, I'm so happy to see that. It's almost like you've been, I have to be careful how I word this. It's almost like you have been taking more initiative in how you look or in your appearance, and that maybe that's not always your first priority, but for quite a while, you started taking more initiative and you started feeling better about yourself and looking better. And then it feels like for the last, I don't know, week or two maybe, you've kind of backed off on that again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
She says, do you know why you're backing off on that? It's because you don't feel good inside because you're under the stress of trying to pay for all these things that are not really needs, they're wants. And so therefore you're internalizing that you don't feel good, you don't want to look good, you lose that motivation and it just spirals, and it helps to when you look in the mirror and you're not put together and you're not feeling like yourself, then it just helps reaffirm that you're a failure, which is not true. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a cycle.
Yes.
So that's so cute. So she pushes her chair back. She stands up, straightens her clothes. She makes me feel like she is very prim and proper, or very. She liked to be careful with how she looked, I would say. That's why she knows that how we allow ourselves to look on the outside is a direct reflection of how we're feeling on the inside. And so while this, in a sense, is a bit of a butt kicking, it's because she loves you and because you're not being very nice to her granddaughter right now. And you're the only one that can change that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I hope that was helpful, Shelley.
Thank you.
You have a wonderful day.
You too, Tracy. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Oh, I lost somebody there. That was an interesting reading. Wow. I think I might need some, cream on my butt after it, stings. Shelley, your grandma means business. Okay, guys. It is 5:02. I'm going to take one last call. Here we go. Hello? Oh, hold on one second. I didn't get you on speaker. Hello?
Hi.
Hi. There we go. Are you calling for the live readings?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. What's your first name, hun?
Amanda.
Amanda. Okay. So give me a minute to... Oh, no, wait. We're going to do the grounding exercise. I've already been told that you have a lot of people on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I could get you to sit with your feet flat on the floor, and then I need you to take a deep breath, but picture that deep breath starting at your big toe and slowly pulling it all the way up through your body, and then blow it straight through the phone at me, and then just give me 1 minute to focus. Okay, interesting. Give me a second to sort through this.
Okay.
So, Amanda, I want to start with the young person that passed before we would expect them to pass. So when I say young, I just mean that they didn't live to the ripe old age of 70 or 80, that maybe their life was a lot shorter than what we typically think of as an average life. Hold on a second. There's definitely some regret around his passing, and I'm also seeing the white lighters around him as well. It could be a girl, but I'm pretty sure this is a boy. The white lighters are basically angelic beings that are pure white light that represent healing. So they surround somebody either who takes responsibility for their passing, committed suicide, or that their passing was tragic or unexpected in a way that left the family around them hurting deeply and needing that healing, because the white lighter's job is to help the person who's crossing over and the loved ones left behind to heal.
Yeah.
Do you know who this young person is?
The only person that I can think of is the brother-in-law that I never met.
That he took his own life, didn't he?
No, his life was taken from him
I see. Okay, because he keeps showing me that. First of all, I feel like he's okay. Hold on. First of all, it feels like that he is taking some responsibility. Even if his life was taken from him, it feels like he's taking some responsibility. Either it's that he put himself there or somewhere where he shouldn't have been, doing something he shouldn't have been doing, or he knew better in some way, shape, or form. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does.
Because he's absolutely taking some responsibility for how he passed away. Hold on a second.
Okay.
He shows me getting to the other side and being very grateful because I feel like it's almost like he challenged his faith towards the end of his life before he passed away. I feel like he had gotten to a point in time where maybe he was challenging his faith. Like he wasn't quite sure if God was real or, you know what I mean, if this was all just talk or like he wasn't quite sure how he felt about that. And so when he got to the other side, he was extremely grateful to be welcomed into the white light. And the healing energy of the loved ones on the other side. And he definitely shows me a lot of family on the other side that are stepping forward to wrap their arms around him and greet him when his soul's out there.
Yeah.
They also bring forward the feather. Do you have a native connection as well, Amanda?
Yes.
Okay, because they're showing that's usually my symbol for native. Okay, so slow down. Interesting. He did a couple of things. One, he showed me my symbol for time lapse. So I feel like he's been on the other side for a little while now.
Yeah.
Then he also points to, this is your husband's brother?
My girlfriend's brother.
Okay, so your partner's brother, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
because what he does is he points to you and he goes, va-va-voom, like, and I can feel him, like, nudging his sibling going, good job, good job. And then I feel like, well, see, that makes so much sense, actually, now that you say that, because I feel like there's this gratitude in his soul and this relief in his soul that his sister is able to live her life the way that she needs to live it. And he's thanking you for being a big part of her life, and a big part of what's keeping her heart together, if that makes sense. It's funny because he's showing me a couple that fights like cats and dogs. It's almost like, you know, I can say whatever I want to you, but if somebody else says that same thing to you, I'm going to beat them up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Hold on. He shows me my symbol for pride. He wants to let his sister know that he's proud of her for finding her true identity, for living her true life and being with somebody that she loves. But even more so, even though you may not have ever known this man, he's very much grateful that you were involved in his sister's life, and he's absolutely watching over the two of you on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so hold on. There's another person stepping forward here. She's like, there's two more. We both have to speak. Hold on. I got to separate them. So this lady, when she steps forward, again, one of the ways that I ask Spirit to validate who they are is by telling me how they passed away. The first thing she does is she lets me know that she's got all her energy back. So towards the end of her life, I feel like her energy just felt like it was completely zapped. I feel like I can't move very much. It's not that I'm immobile, it's just that I have no energy. She's actually
Yeah.
showing me a hospital bed. I feel like she was maybe stuck in a hospital bed for a little while before she passed away.
Yes, she was.
Who is this to you?
My grandma.
How does she relate to the head as well? Because she takes me to the head and then she offers you reassurance. Like, it's okay, it's okay. And then she's showing me the whispering of the ear, which is my symbol for that they've heard everything that you've said to them. Did she have Alzheimer's or dementia before she passed away?
I'm not sure. I was quite young
I see.
when she passed away, so I don't really have much memory.
Okay. Hold on a sec. It's funny. She's showing me the age regression. As soon as you said you were quite young, she's like, that's right. And then she shows me my symbol for age regression. So like fast forwarding the pages of a calendar. And this is often my symbol that Spirit uses when they're trying to show me that they've watched over you for a number of years.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec. I feel like, so forgive my ignorance on this. My job is not to censor what I say. It's to absolutely tell you exactly what's being shown to me, okay?
Yeah.
So I don't mean to
Yeah.
be hurtful or rude or say the wrong thing in any way, shape, or form. If I do, please let me know. But
Okay.
she shows me the rainbow, which is my symbol for gay or bisexual, etc., etc. Then she shows me the symbol for pride, and then she shows me pushing other people away and saying and putting over their mouths. So, what that would indicate to me is that maybe you have received some adversity because of your life choices. Does that make sense? Like there's particular people in your family that have voiced that this is not okay with them, or that have made fun of you or said names or whatever that adversity is. She's acknowledging that people have said things. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It definitely makes sense.
And do you know what she's doing? She's just walking by each of them and putting tape over their mouths and saying, your opinion doesn't matter. What's important is that this young lady is happy and healthy and stable. And when you were not acknowledging who you weren't happy and healthy and stable. Everybody else was, but you weren't. So this is your life. You live it the way that you need to live it. And don't be afraid to share that with whoever is in your life. Because if they truly love you, they're going to accept you for who you are.
Yeah.
It feels like today that you really needed to know that both you and your girlfriend have the love and the spirit of people around you that are just very accepting and supporting. And that feels to me exactly like what this entire reading was about. As if maybe you were in a period of your life where you were just feeling like there's not a lot of support and there's not a lot of, support is the best word I can think of around you. And there's times where, being in a relationship is not easy, and then that's work, and you can't even go to your family and ask for help or guidance or advice because they're angry with you that you're in this relationship in the first place. So it's like an isolated, lonely feeling. And she's wanting to let you know, and so was your girlfriend's brother, wanting to let you know that they love you and support you very much on the other side. And that if you two remember that you love each other and talk to each other, be careful how you're talking to each other. Again, they're stressing that maybe you guys aren't so nice to each other sometimes. I almost feel like somebody's nickname is like bitch or something. And this is done in a funny way, but to work on that bond between the two of you, because together you're so much better than apart. And your life is worth living together. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
I hope that was helpful for you.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You have a wonderful day.
You as well.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Whew! Okay, so we got through a whole hour of readings. Yay! Thank you guys for being here. And thanks to you guys, I will absolutely be back next week. If you haven't booked a reading yet, please go to my Facebook page, send me a private message. We will set it up between now and March 1st. Private phone readings that are from 60 to 90 minutes, so about an hour to an hour and a half usually. They're only $75. I usually charge $115, but if you guys are booking your readings now instead of next month or in the summer or whenever, and you're helping me out, so I'm helping you out, and it works. So thank you guys so much again, and have a truly amazing day, and I will see you again next week. Bye.